Well, hello everyone. This is Grace of gbmaltese, and I am going to be doing a whip and chat with you today while I am working on this beautiful piece from Treasure Studios Art. This is part of the Valentine collab that I am doing with Rebecca of Crafting Journey with Rebecca. It's a beautiful piece. She designed, Rachel of Treasure Studios Art. Here's her. I put a link to that below, where if you would are interested in purchasing this DP, it's beautiful. It's called the Swing of Love. This is a 60 by 60 centimeter. If you use the code LOVE, all in capital letters, LOVE 15, you can save 15% off on the canvas. Rebecca is doing a different one, and you can check hers out also. There are links to that. Make sure you check out the video Rebecca and I did. We did a live together last Saturday night, and we had a lot of fun. Go check that out if you haven't already. We had a good time, and it was a lot of fun. So you can see which one she's working on, and I also showed this one again. I am doing this in rounds, and this is the color I'm working on right now. These are absolutely gorgeous drills. I am in love with these. And what is really special about the rounds is that they're the size of a square. They're 2.5 millimeter, which I'm really excited about to see how that's going to turn out as opposed to the regular rounds that I'm used to using. As you can see, I have started. Look how sparkly. I mean, when you talk about looking like diamonds are scattered out on a field, this is it. So I'm going to be turning it in this direction and working on this end. I'm kind of taking the roundabout route on the sides. So I will be starting there in just a moment. I want to talk a little bit more about the collab that Rebecca and I are doing. We started this off on January the 18th. I guess I can put a few down while I'm talking about it so you're not looking at just nothing. You can watch me put some of these down. I am, like I said, I'm really enjoying this piece. This is a beautiful canvas. I have really enjoyed it. She uses a mounting adhesive at Treasure Studios Art, which is different from double-sided tape, poured glue. It is supposed to actually be much stronger than those. It should not yellow or crack, which is fantastic, excuse me, in the likelihood of holding these drills on really nicely. I've just put a piece of, this is silicone paper that I purchased from Amazon. I really like this stuff. When you do use silicone paper, make sure you only use the shiny side, because this side will stick to it like glue. So I put a sticker on mine. You could just put a line on it. You could write your name or whatever, so you know not to use the other side. I am using patty wax in my pen. I really like it. So, let me tell you a little bit more about our collab. Let me get you a little closer so you can see me actually putting some of these down, maybe. And get maybe a better shot of seeing what I'm actually doing. we go. I'm going to tell you, as I said, a little bit more about the collab. We're going to be holding this collab. We started January 18th, and it's going to go all the way till February the 29th, which is leap year. Yes, we have leap year this year. And Rebecca and I are going to have 2 grand prizes that we're talking about right now. And in order to be able to be in the drawing for the grand prize, you need to comment on our video each time certain things that we're going to tell you to comment. If you comment on that, then what we'll do is when we do a drawing, the next time I come on, I'll do a drawing to see who won that week, and that name will be put aside to be eligible for the really big grand prize. And Rebecca showed on her last video on Saturday what one of the prizes will be. I'm going to show you something today that will be included in the prize, and we're going to be putting these together in a big box. We'll be getting 2 of each of these items that we will show, so that we're going to make a box up, and whoever the 2 winners are will win that box of goodies. And there's going to be a lot of different sorts of things in there, so keep watching. The more you watch both of our videos, you have double the chance of getting your name picked to be into that final drawing. And we will hold a double live like we did last Saturday to draw the winner. So it's going to be exciting. So I'm going to show you in just a couple of moments the next prize that will be added. And I'm really excited about it. If you didn't see what was the first thing that's going to be in there, go check Rebecca's video out on January 18th. I'll link it below so you can check it out, and you will need to comment underneath her video the key word that she tells you. She tells you something you need to put underneath her video. I will be doing the same thing in this video, but I'm going to wait a little bit before I get to that part because I want you to hang around with me for a little while and talk. I've got different things I'm going to talk about, just taking care of our collab business at the moment. And each time we're going to be showing something new that's going to be put into that grand prize box. Okay, I'm getting out of the screen because I'm moving along. I'll pull you up a little bit. So I hope that you are working on something. I know some of you told me that you actually ordered either the diamond painting I'm working on or the one that Rebecca is working on. If you don't have one, please be working on something else. You might be wanting to diamond paint another Valentine canvas, or you might be crocheting, or you might be knitting, whatever it is. If you don't diamond paint, then you may not be interested in the prizes we're going to have, because they are going to be based on diamond painting, because that's what we're doing here, is we're diamond painting. And if you've never tried diamond painting, give it a go. It is so relaxing. I just love being able to sit down and diamond paint. Okay, let me show you what I have. Oh, I put them over here. I have 2 bags of sparklers. I don't know if you have seen me boxed these before, but I want to thank Tina of Diamond Painting with Sparklers. I'll put her link below, for giving us these bags. Okay, so one bag will go in one box, one bag will go in the other box for the grand prize. So if you've never seen these, they are absolutely gorgeous. They will brighten up any diamond painting you have. Anytime you want to replace something to make it really sparkly, you can put this on your diamond painting. So these are the original sparklers. Again, thank you, Tina, for donating these bags to us for our giveaway. I am so thrilled. These are just beautiful. I used some in a diamond painting I did the other day, which I'll show later. I'm not going to show it in this video. And I am going to be adding some sparklers to the painting I'm working on now. I did have to order a smaller size from her. She has these in 2.5 also, to be used either on squares or like on this, which is a round, that are 2.5. So I was so happy about that. But these are the regular 2.8 to go on any round diamond painting that you have. They are beautiful. These could be used to decorate a diamond painting, a pair of shoes, your cell phone case. Be put in your, if you color, they could be glued into your coloring book using whatever type of glue that you want to use. So very versatile, very beautiful, so shiny. These look like diamonds. They're gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to tell you later in this video what I want you to put in the comment below. So keep on watching. I'm going to put these to the side. Oh, but they're so pretty. It's hard to put them away. And I will tell you what I want you to comment about. Now, I'm going to see if I can get my angle to this camera a little better so you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. Let's see if that's a little closer in where you can kind of see what I'm doing. The letter is the letter C. What I did was, the bag has the DMC code on it, and I put the number that is on the canvas on there because that's what I usually look at. Number 27. This does have 28 colors, and number 27 happens to be the letter C with these gorgeous turquoise drills. They're beautiful. I'm very happy with this. The canvas is amazing. It really is nice. I did a video last week showing my canvas and talking about it. Rachel is located in Australia, and I saw that she had posted that they got some rain in Australia, which is helping with the fires. I hope and pray that those fires are put out and that things will settle down. What a devastation to lose all the land, the beautiful landscape and the animals. It just hurt me to hear how many animals were actually killed in the fire. At one point I'd heard there were 25,000 koala had been killed. That just makes me want to cry. And it's not just koala were lost. Like 500 million different species, not species, but different types of animals, or different animals were killed. That's devastating. And then there were people whose lives were lost, homes were lost. It's just awful. So thinking about you, Rachel, and that you're able to recuperate from all of this. I know it was tough. Rachel does have a Instagram channel, which is Treasure Studios Art, that you can follow her on. And she was keeping people updated about what was going on with the fires. Okay, hope you can see this a little better, what I'm doing. This is such a relaxing hobby. I absolutely love. Well, it would help if I picked up a diamond. Sometimes I reach over there and I'm not looking into the box. I just reach over there and don't notice whether I've picked one up or not. But these go down so easily and they move easily. I mean, not like sliding, but they're not just stuck down like glue where you cannot ever move them again. It's just perfect. It makes diamond painting a pleasure to work on when you have a canvas that works like that. Okay, I think I've said what I wanted to say about the giveaways and every, I believe Rebecca is going to do her collabs every Saturday night, if I'm not mistaken. She might change that. Just watch on your channel. I had planned on doing mine on Monday, but my allergies had another say-so in that. I could not speak real well. I was coughing a lot, but I've been taking a little bit of medication. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting out of the screen again. I get to talking and forget what I'm doing. Sorry. Try to get you so I can go over a little bit further. I will be doing it every week. I'm not going to promise what day it's going to be on because I don't know what life is going to throw in my way. But be looking for the pink thumbnail that will be on the video that says Valentine Collab so that you can watch and see how I'm going along with this, because I will be working on this other times besides just when I'm talking to you on here, or I'll never get this finished. This is a big canvas, big and just gorgeous. I told my husband that was he and I on the swing. He liked the canvas. I love the colors so much, but he thought it was really pretty too. Anyway, talking about my husband, I had someone say, since this is a Valentine collab, why don't you talk about how you and your husband met? And I'll do that. I'll tell you a little bit about how things went with us. He was just my friend to start with in high school. And I never, ever thought we would ever be together. He was just a friend. I never thought of him in any other way. And I had another boyfriend at that time. Probably a couple of different ones. Jerry is hilarious. And he made me laugh a lot. And so he was a lot of fun to be around. He could get people to do things. I remember the school that I ended up at was in Livingston. I was born in Houston and lived there until I was 16. We came to Livingston and I was a junior in high school. Oh my gosh, I hated this place so much. It's this little bitty town after I had been in a big area, in a big school, really nice school district, and you know, it was just devastating when we moved here. We moved here because my grandfather had passed away, and my grandmother lived with us for a while in Houston. She didn't like it, so she wanted to come back. Well, my dad felt like we needed to move to Livingston to be closer to my grandmother. So we did. And so, of course, we had to change schools and go to school in Livingston. Now, this is where it got weird, because I'm used to being in a modern school and all that. The school that I was going to go to was the school my dad went to high school in. It was very new. In fact, I think he was the first class to graduate from that school. And that was old. My mom and dad were older when they had me and my sister. They were 39 when they had me, and then 40 when they had my sister. And then I have I have one brother now. My other brother passed away on Christmas Eve, which I've talked about him before, losing his battle to cancer, which is devastating. But anyway, we moved to Livingston, and my sister and I were still in high school. So we were going to have to go to high school. My brothers had just graduated. Daryl had already been graduated, and Greg graduated. And I was going to be a junior. My sister was going to be a sophomore, because we are 14 months difference in age. So we go to register at the school, and I am just like, where did this school come from? I go in there. They don't have air conditioning in the school. I'm like, okay, we're stepping back into the dark ages or what? They didn't have central heating. They had radiators in the classrooms, which I had never seen. You know, we're in the South. What are radiators doing in the classroom? Why is there not central heat, central air? Oh, no. They just turned the fan on if it got warm. Yeah, it was awful. My sister and I cried. And we used to talk about running away and going back to Houston. But we didn't know where we would stay, what we were going to do. So we ended up staying here. My sister and I. My parents weren't going anywhere. We didn't tell them about our plans of running away, of course. But boy, I couldn't believe it. And let me tell you something. If you've ever moved from a big town to a small town, they have cliques in these towns. And I mean, they don't take too kindly to the new folks who arrive. You know, if you're born and raised here, that's different. But if you come in later, especially high school, yeah, they don't take too kindly to you. So it was a bit hard when we first got here, even trying to make a friend. I mean, I think our first friend was someone who was pretty new to the district herself. And yeah, very cliquish. So that was difficult. Then they kind of accepted us, I guess, a little bit. And we started making some other friends. And it was when I was a senior and I had a class with Jerry. I don't remember knowing him when I was a junior. I don't remember that at all. So I'm just saying, I think it was when we were seniors. And he was in my social studies class. I don't know if we had any other class together. We may have. I don't remember. But I was kind of hanging around some other guy, and Jerry was just my friend. And if someone had ever asked me if I would ever date Jerry at that time, I would have told him, no, I didn't think of him in that way. You know, he's just a friend. Didn't think of him romantically in one little bit. Okay, let me see if I can sling any more drills around. There we go. See, you can move them around. It's not going to just be stuck there. So, Jerry could get people to do things. And some of our classes were in what is kind of like the basement. I had never seen classes that were partially below ground. They had windows, though, at the top, which, you know, you could see the ground and a little bit above it. There was not, it's hard to describe it. I guess our heads were probably level with the ground, maybe, as you look out the window. So you could see out the window, and you could see people. The windows were large. You had to have windows with no air conditioning. So I know Jerry he could get people to do things. He got some guy to get a water balloon and throw it at people through the window. Yeah, he didn't do it, so, he didn't get in trouble because somebody else did it. So, that was Jerry. He was a tease. He liked to laugh and have a good time. He liked to get other people to do his dirty work, I guess. Like I said, he was just a friend. I didn't really know him. And I liked talking to him. Thought he was a lot of fun to talk to. He made me laugh. When I was a senior and I was dating this one guy, and I broke up with him. And it was for a good reason. He was doing drugs, and I'm like, if you're not going to stop that, I just not going there. And my dad did not let my sister and I date, so I could only see my so-called boyfriends at school, unless I went and stayed at a friend's house and met them at the football game. My dad didn't let me and my sister do anything. It was almost like prison. But I broke up with this one guy. As I said, he was smoking marijuana all the time. I mean, it's like, I'm not going to be around someone who's doing drugs all the time. So I broke up, and Jerry came around, and somehow we kind of got together. And we started hanging around together at school. And Jerry won. He was the district champion for baseball at the school. And he was going to get an award at a sports banquet. Now, granted, you've got to realize, I was 18 years old at that time. My birthday's in February, so I had turned 18 at that time. And I'd never dated. I'd never been on a date with a guy. So, Jerry wanted me to he asked me to go to the sports banquet with him. I'm like, oh my God, I was scared to death. So, I kind of got it to my dad and told him about it. And he let me go. He said I had to be home by 9 o'clock. Okay. I'm 18 years old. Have to be home by 9 o'clock. I think the banquet started probably at 7. I had to be home by 9. He wanted to make sure there was no hanky-panky going on. So Jerry was going to come over to meet my dad for the first time. My sister told him, you make sure you have a haircut before you come over. Jerry's hair was a little bit longer. Sideburns were kind of long. She said, you better be clean shaven, or he probably won't let her go out at all. So he did. He got his hair cut and everything. And he came over. And my dad, talked to him, and he just said, make sure we're home by 9 o'clock. And so I was just happy to be able to go somewhere. And so I went with him, and he got his trophy. It was a real big trophy. And that was my first date ever with a guy. And that my dad even the first guy my dad ever knew about. Let's put it that way. Now, my mom did know that I would have some boyfriends at school. We could talk to her. And anyway, we went on the date, and I had a good time. It was a banquet. And then I came back home, and well, we didn't go anywhere else because I believe that was close to the end of the school years when they do the sports banquets and things. So it was close to graduation time, And Jerry had been offered a scholarship, a baseball scholarship at a smaller college. I planned to be I had thought about either being a nurse or a teacher. Well, I decided that I did not think I could stick a needle in anyone, so I decided to be a teacher. I'd wanted to do that my whole life. It was either nurse or teacher my whole life. That's all I had ever wanted and thought about doing. So I was going to go to Sam Houston, which is in Huntsville. Jerry was going to go to a completely different college. Well, he changed his mind. He gave up his scholarship to go to the same college I went to, and he got a degree in business. So, we were together during that time. We got to know each other. I had one time, first it said I'd never date him. Then I'm thinking, we're just dating. He's not someone I would ever marry, God had other plans. We became very close, and we went through college together. Okay, we're now getting into our senior year of college. And at that time, my sister had met Rance, who was going to be her husband. He went to my dad and asked to marry her. And he said okay or whatever. I don't know. I wasn't there. But anyway, they got engaged. And my mom and dad, my dad had been a CPA. And he was retired, pretty much retired from being a CPA. And he'd opened up what he called a rock and gem shop. So he dealt in gemstones and different types of rocks because he was interested in that kind of stuff. So they used to go to the Dallas World Market, which you can only get into if you are a dealer, have a tax number and all that stuff. So they were going to get Judy's diamond from there for her engagement ring, because they could get it for her, a nice diamond for a good price. Just going to get the diamond, and then we were going to have it mounted later. Well, Jerry still had not asked me to marry him at this point. No, that never, crossed his mind to ask me to marry him. So, my mom, love my mom, I miss her so much. My mom said, Jerry, would you like us to go ahead and pick up a diamond for Grace, for an engagement ring? Thank you, Mom. And he said, okay, I guess so. So they went and picked out the diamond, and I picked out the mounting later, and it was mounted, and Jerry paid for it and everything, and we were engaged. I mean, my mom basically just it's kind of funny when I think back. If it hadn't been for my mom, I don't know. We might still be dating. I don't know. We were going together for 5 years, okay? We'd been together a long time. Well, at that point, I guess it had been 4 years, because at the time we got married, we'd been together about 5 years. So he said, oh, okay. And so they picked out my diamond and my sister's, and then we got them mounted, and so I had my engagement ring. And then graduated from college in December, and I got a teaching job in January. And my job was in Aldine, which is a suburb of Houston. So I wasn't living in Livingston at the time. I was engaged, and I had planned on working a little bit, and we were going to save up a little money before we got married. So I worked there, and my sister was working in downtown Houston for Pennzoil. She was an accountant. So Jerry and I, he came every weekend to see me. He did. He did come and see me every weekend because he was working in Livingston. Jerry never did do anything with his business degree. Jerry is a fabulous mechanic. He has all certifications in all kinds of machines. He's ASE certified for diesel and gas engines, I guess is what it is. And so he gets recertified every few years. So he is really good at that. And Jerry is not the kind of person who's going to sit behind a desk. Oh my gosh, he'd go nuts. So he was in Livingston working at a dealership here, and I was over in Aldine. And my sister and I, we had plans to get married. I set the date for August, and my sister set hers for September, the month after. I wanted to get married in August because I teach school, and I wanted it done in the summertime, but I also wanted to have time in the summer to get ready for my wedding. So, Jerry never asked me to marry. And yeah, I still give him a hard time about that. And I said, are you ever going to ask me to marry you? I said, I think we need to have another wedding. I said, you never asked me the first time. I give him a hard time. When people talk about their engagements, I'm like, well, I never got asked. I will give him a hard time about that forever. Why shouldn't I? So that is the proposal that never happened. I guess that's a good name for this one. The proposal that never happened. Yeah. If it hadn't been for my mama, I don't know. I don't know what would have happened, because I wasn't going to say, come on now, when are you going to give me a ring? But that's how it happened. So romantic, right? Yeah. But Jerry and I have been married now for 37 years. And we were together for 5 years. So we have been together for 42 years. So I guess I'll let him slide by on that. Or will I? I keep telling him, I think we need to go through another, we could do another wedding. We could do vow renewals. I don't think he's going to go for that. He ain't going to waste his money on something like that. I can tell you that much for sure. Anyway, we have had a good life together. We still are. Don't put that in the past tense now, Grace. We had our daughter, Catherine, and gosh, well, she didn't live so far away. She's in Texas. Texas is too darn big, for goodness sakes. It takes forever to get from one place to another. And she is about 270, 280 miles from my house. So it can, depending on traffic, it could take me anywhere from 4.5 to 5 hours. Normally, or sometimes I can get there in 4 hours and 15 minutes because most of the drive is on highway or Interstate 45. And you're flying down that road. I mean, at 75. Okay, most people are going 90 miles an hour. Well, I usually I might go up to 80. But, yeah, depending on how fast you're going. But I do not want to get into a wreck or get stopped by the police on my way over there. So it is quite a ways. And she moved there to get a good job. Luckily, she had a job before she even graduated from college. So I was so thankful. It was like a pay raise when I didn't have to pay for insurance. I put her on my insurance. It was cheaper than Jerry putting her on his. So that's how we did that. And Jerry can be romantic sometimes. I mean, he's not the kind of guy that's going to just, go out and buy me he used to get me flowers sometimes, but I just told him forget it. I mean, it didn't happen that many times, and I just said I hate to see them when they die. That's what depresses me about getting flowers. I do enjoy getting them occasionally, but it makes me sad that they don't live long enough. I want my flowers to live forever. And I used to grow flowers in my flower bed. And then life kind of got in the way. I started, pick one up, Grace. Pick one up. Get that off of there. Got a little bit of my wax. Just pick it up. I got that. So, yeah. So, it wasn't all hearts and flowers. And this is what he told me. When I'd say something about him not asking me. Well, you knew we were going to get married. And I'm like, I did? How did I know that? Unless you ask a person, when are you going to, plan a wedding and all that, stuff that goes along with it. He's funny. He told me, it hurts his feelings sometimes if I bring it up. But hey, not as bad as it hurt my feelings not getting asked. So that was the proposal that did not happen. Let me see. Talking about him like joking around. Oh my gosh, when we dated, he always was doing things to tease me, and when we got married, I learned his little tricks, and he can't really do that to me anymore like he used to, but he likes to do different things to people, and that's just how he is. He gets a kick out of it. One of the things he did, I remember taking a bath. We were living in this apartment before we decided to have a house built. We lived in an apartment, and I was taking a bath, and I was sitting there, and I had washed my face, and I was rinsing my face off. And while I was rinsing my face off, he thought it'd be real funny to get his shaving cream, and where I'd had my washcloth to pick it up and wipe my face off, he'd squirted shaving cream all in there. So yeah, I reach over there, and I'm like feeling around, and all I'm doing is pushing my hand in some mush, and I'm like, Jerry! I knew who did it. I mean, there wasn't anybody else in the house, so he had to have done it. So he thought that was real funny. Another time, that apartment we lived in. There's not a big selection here in this little town of apartments. There's a bigger selection now than there was back then. So we would have to defrost the little freezer above the refrigerator. Big chunks of ice would come out of there. Well, he just decided to put that big chunk of ice in the toilet. Yeah. So I go in there to use the bathroom, and there's this big, we're not talking, like a chunk like that. We're talking a big square piece that filled, almost the bowl up. Yeah, I go in there. Jerry, get the ice out of the toilet. There's always something. I guess that's just the way his mind works. Let me think of another thing I can do to get Grace in an uproar. He likes to see you get your panties in an uproar, I guess you might say. So he's done lots of things. He used to fish all the time. And I'd go fishing with him sometimes. Mostly I went and just laid out on the back of the boat and sunbathed. And I'd take a book to read or whatever. And he would fish. He would want me to, okay, every so often I would cast. He always had these fishing, the reel. He always had these open face ones so that when you throw it, you have to put your thumb on it or the string keeps rolling out of it. And if you don't do it just right, it balls up. All that string balls up. Not string, but the line. That nylon line balls up into the biggest mess. And that's how mine looked most of the time. Because he'd been doing it since he was a little kid. Okay? I needed one that was in an enclosed one. Well, he didn't have any like that. So I spent a lot of my time, and I just say, here, take it. You can fix it. I didn't have the patience for that. I'm sorry. A big old wad. I'd rather be reading my book or, sunbathing on the back deck of the boat. So I would fish a little bit, but not much. He always sat at the front of the boat where he could, get to the fish better. He did sometimes get a fish on line and he let me reel it in. Come on over and reel it in. I'm like, all right. And, that was kind of fun. But, yeah, he loves the outdoors. Another time we went fishing. And a lot of times I'd go in my bathing suit. Sometimes I might jump over the side of the boat if we were closer to the shore and swim in the lake a little bit. Well, I needed to go to the bathroom. Okay, we're in the middle of the lake. And I said, pull over to shore so I can go to the bathroom. It's bad enough that you're going to have to go use it, hang on to a tree. I don't know, I always hang on to a tree and lean back and try not to pee all over myself. Anyway, Jerry said, oh, I've got a gallon jug, an empty jug. And he said, I'll just cut the top part off of it and you can pee in that. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I said, I've got to pull because I had a one-piece bathing suit on. I didn't like wearing a two-piece. I've just never been comfortable wearing one. Even though I had a nice figure back then, I still always wore one piece. It was just me, I guess. So, he says, oh, nobody's going to come around. And I'm like, well, what if they do? I'll be watching. All right. Well, so he cuts the top out of this gallon jug and gives it to me. Okay. So here I am looking around, as far as I could see into the horizon for boats that might be coming. Yeah. Then I don't see anything. So, yeah, I get my bathing suit, adjusted so I can, have a really comfortable pee out in the middle of the lake. Nobody actually came, thank goodness. But I told him, I will never do this again. I said, if you're going to make me do this, I'm not coming with you any longer. So, he would take me to the shore. But that was a real fun fishing moment right there. He didn't, oh man, they can just, go off the side and they don't have to worry about anything. And us, we don't have that. You need help, Bobo? My dog hears something, I suppose. So Bogey has left the premises. So, yeah, have any of you ever had to do something that crazy? Really? I don't even remember what I hung on to or how I managed it. I think I've tried to blot that part from my memory. I don't remember. But that was those kinds of things you just don't forget. But I told him, I said, don't worry about bringing any gallon jugs along because I'm not using them ever again. So that was a real fun time. I'll tell you that much. And I've got other tales to tell about the outdoors with Jerry. Yes, that end up in crazy situations. But I love to go for walks. I love hiking outdoors. And I need to get out and start doing that again. I just, Jerry's gotten to where he'll get up, like on Saturday. He'll be up at 6 o'clock. You know, he's not having to go to work or anything, but he's up and he's ready to go for a walk. And I'm like, no, because I'll stay up later the night before because, you know, I'm a retired teacher now, so I choose my hours. I spent 34 years following a strict schedule teaching. Because let me tell you, every minute of your day as a teacher is planned out. From the time that you're going to eat your lunch, from the time that you got kids coming to your classroom, from the times that you can go to the bathroom. Because if you've got kids in the room, you can't just say, oh, kiddies, I'm going to go to the bathroom. Y'all just, you know, sit here and be good. No. If you have really got to go, it's emergency. You usually have to get another teacher across the hall. You go say, I got to go to the bathroom really bad. Could you watch my class? And you're in the bathroom trying to hurry. And, because you hate to have to put another teacher out because they're trying to watch 2 classes at once. I mean, I've done it for other teachers, and I've never minded it. You know, if you got to go to the bathroom, you got to go. That's just the way it is. But when you're teaching school, it doesn't work that way. And I'll never forget when I was teaching 3rd grade, I always held it. You know, I'd take the kids to the bathroom 3 and 4 times a day, you know, as a class. Because they need to go quite often. Their bladders are not fully developed, I guess. I don't know. But, well, when you take them, you don't get to go. No, you're watching them. And you're making sure that the boys aren't peeing on each other. You know, because when they come out and, you know. That was one of the things that the 3rd grade boys love to do, is to see who could pee the farthest. And they would shoot for this wall across the room. Yeah, and they'd see who could pee the farthest. And the boys would come out and tell me these things. I'm like, oh, for Pete's sakes. Well, or they'd stand at the end of one end of the urinal and okay. I did have a couple of boys who really wet the floor really bad. They admitted it too. So, what I did, I told the boys in the bathroom. I said, if there's anybody in there, I'm counting to 10, and you better get out because I'm coming in. I'm counting to 10. I'm coming in. All right. Anyway, so they were coming out. When I got to 10, I went on in there, and yeah, there was pee all over the floor. And I brought those 2 boys in there, and I said, look at this mess. I said, let me tell you something. These ladies and the gentlemen that clean in the school are not your maids. They are not here to clean your mess up. And would you do this at home? Would you do something like this on your bathroom floor? No, ma'am. I'm like, okay, fine. So I found one of the janitors, and I got a couple of mops, and I had those boys clean the bathroom floors with the mops. They had to mop up their mess. And you know what? I never had anybody do that on the floor again. That was a really good lesson for them. And to me, you know, I've always been taught, if I make a mess, you clean it up. So when kids throw paper on the floor, I would tell them, I said, listen, if I drop something on the floor, I pick it up. If you drop something on the floor, you're going to pick it up. These people are not here to pick up after everybody in this school. Can you imagine what this place would look like? Yeah, I had my moments of getting on my soapbox. I sure did. But you know, those are things, those are lessons they need to know, because I know they weren't taught that at home. But when they're away from home, they're going to do certain things. So, you know, that was their punishment. I didn't, write them up, send them to the office. That was good enough. They cleaned up the mess. And that was the end of the story. To me, once something is done and you have, paid your dues or whatever you want to call it, the matter is an open and shut case. It's done. I do not keep throwing things up into people's face, except for my husband not proposing to me. Yeah, that is something. I don't do it all the time. It's just kind of funny when someone you'll hear somebody on TV proposing, and I'm like, I never had that happen to me. And someone tells how they were proposed to. I wouldn't know what that would be like. And Jerry says, he said, you knew we would get married. And I said, no, I didn't know. So anyway, that was how that ended up. And do any of you have some wonderful proposal stories that happened to you? At least he did show up for the wedding. So I guess he did mean that he did intend on marrying me. He was there at the church for us to get married. So I guess I can't complain too much. And we've been together all these years. We've had some very happy times. Have they all been easy? No. We're human beings. So yeah, we've had our moments where we've gotten angry. But the longer we've been married, the more we've learned. It really isn't worth it. Sometimes it's best not to say anything, especially if you're really upset. Oh, that's when things can really be real, can get real hairy. Just watch what you say, because you can't take it back. That little term, sticks and stones can break your bones, but names will never hurt you. That's a lie. They do hurt. And it hurts for a long time, because I can remember things that were said to me as a child, and I still remember it. And it does. It hurts. So I try to remember, if I can't have nothing nice to say, then don't say it at all, to a person. It doesn't always work that way. No, I'm not going to say I'm Miss Perfect. And yeah, things don't slip, because they do. But I never intentionally ever hurt any person. I think I've gotten this from my husband. I've gotten to where I like to tease people. And I don't mean to hurt anyone's feelings if I'm teasing you. I really don't. So don't ever get your feelings hurt about something I might say. Because I learned from the master over here. I had to learn to get on with it. Yeah, he's a big tease, and sometimes he still tries his little teasing ways. He'll tell me something, and sometimes I don't know. I just forget who's saying it. And I might believe it for a little while, and then I'm like, okay, if that was really true, you would be more upset than what you are right now. I can tell. Jerry can't hide when he is really, if he's really upset. He doesn't go crazy or anything, but he's not smiling and laughing either, like when he's going to tell me something. And sometimes he can't keep a straight enough face for me to do it. But boy, does he tease some of those guys at work. He'll come in and tell me stories. So I'll have to share some of those different stories. And I've got so many stories from school. Oh, my goodness. Kids are a wonderful thing. They can be very difficult a lot of times, but they are wonderful. That is the one thing I do miss about school or my kids. All the paperwork that I was having to do, no. That just, that's no fun. And it's just getting ridiculous. And if you're a parent and your kids are having a rough time, talk with the teacher. But remember, that teacher does have feelings. And in most cases, I mean, I have seen some teachers that do not belong in that, they don't belong in that classroom. And a lot of times they don't last, but sometimes they do. But most teachers care very deeply about your child. They may be having a hard time in their life to cause some problems, maybe causing them some problems. But if your child's having a problem, talk to the teacher. They're genuinely concerned. I know I was. I always wanted to hear from my parents. And I would learn sometimes stories just from the parent that would help explain some of the things that were going on with their child. And it helped me to understand the child better. And that's always a good thing. So keep those doors of communication open. And never, ever down a person, down a child. Yeah, I know there are some people who will say ugly things to a child. You dummy. You know, and maybe don't mean it, but you know what? That sticks with them. It just sticks with them, because I remember being called fat and ugly and all kinds of stuff. So, yeah. Okay, get off of my thing. You're sticking in there too good. Well, I've been talking an hour, and I'm sure you're sick and tired of listening to me. If you've stayed with me this long, thank you. Put me a heart or a smiley face down there and tell me I stuck with you the whole way. Now, if you've stuck with me, then you're going to know what to do for the giveaway. Yes. Since the giveaway are sparklers, because I almost forgot. I needed to do that part. Since this is a giveaway for sparklers, I would like you to use the word sparklers in a sentence. And I know you think, oh, that's goofy. Yeah, that's that teacher coming out in you. Well, maybe it is, but something very simple. For example, I would love to fill the sky with sparklers. Or you could put something down. What I would like to put some sparklers on my diamond paintings. Or something like, sparklers shine as bright as a diamond. Any kind of sentence, but it has to be a sentence using the word sparklers. If you just put the word sparklers down there, that ain't gonna count. Use a sentence. I've given you some examples. You can use them. I don't care. I'm not that big of a poot about it. So when I do the drawing and I come across if a person's comment is picked in Comment Picker that did not use the word sparklers in a sentence, I'll go to the next person. So make sure you do that to be able to get your name into the big grand prize drawing. So don't forget to go check out Rebecca's channel, Crafting Journey with Rebecca. We're doing this giveaway together. And it's going to be two. There are going to be two grand prizes. So there will be two. Excuse me. Goodness. My allergies are giving me a fit. Anyway, I've talked on long enough. Okay, we kind of love is our theme here. And I have been saying quite often lately to tell the people around you that you love them. But don't just tell them. Show them. Give them a hug. When you feel like yelling at them, just kind of press your lips together. Don't do it. But show the people around you you love them. Give them a hug when they're not expecting it. There has been surveys done that when you get a hug, when someone gets a hug, I don't remember if it said it lengthened a person's life, but it gave them some kind of special chemical that really made them feel happy. So let's share the love, the hugs, and the smiles. Pass some smiles out to the people you see. Hey, I'll be just wondering what you've been up to. Sometimes I don't feel like smiling, but I'll try to anyway. I'm going to let you go for now. Don't forget, sentence using the word sparklers below. These are gorgeous. Love you guys. You take care, and I will talk to you later. Bye.